Once a week, the girls gather and we speak about relationships. That show is what you're watching or listening to right now. This is Sister. Welcome to another exciting edition. My name is AJ Akwako Sapon. It's an absolute pleasure to bring you another exciting edition of Sister Ghana's number one relationship talk show. Now, basically, all you have to do is send in your issues, whatever it is you may be going through, and me and my incredible group of ladies will get into the nitty-gritty of whatever it is that you may be going through and give you the best possible advice that will help you figure it out and possibly be able to make that change that you need to, or resolve whatever conflicts that may be going on in your relationship or in your life. So for the next 60 minutes, I encourage you to stay with us as we have a very exciting show. Of course, this show is proudly brought to you by Kel Kids Toothpaste, by Onga, Mama's Helping Hands, Flurry Roberts, Ghana AIDS Commission Red Ribbon Campaign. A very big thank you to Arlu for my lovely outfit, and of course, first choice for my hair. When I come back, we'll be getting into a very exciting edition of the Sister. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned in to Sister Live on Citi FM and as well on Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. My name is Aja Kwakosapon and I'm your host. This show is proudly brought to you by Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, Kel Kids Toothpaste, Flurry Roberts, and as well Ghana AIDS Commission Red Ribbon Campaign. A very big thank you to Arlu for my lovely outfit and first choice for my hair. Takes a village, guys. It takes a village. Now, allow me to introduce the awesome, incredible, amazing, and very beautiful ladies that make up my sisters. I will start from the lady in the middle because it's still Scorpio season and I must give deference to my Scorpio queen. So, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Rosie. Hi, Rosie. How are you doing?
I'm great. You just know how to get the excitement out of my system.
Scorpio season, you know. Scorpios are first. They will come
right?
first. And then we're actually glad to have two Gemini's numbers. If you don't know zodiac signs, it's okay if I allowed. But let me start with the lady right next to Rosie. She's always lovely, always a lady. A twin as well, so Gemini makes so much sense. Though very lovely, Olivia. Hi, Olivia.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
How's your week been?
It's been good. Tons of vitamin S. So let's just say we thank God.
God is good. God is good. Some of us can say we relate, but we don't.
I can imagine so.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Someone who I'm not sure if she can relate, but I'm pretty sure she might. The one and only Felicia. Hi, Felicia. How you doing, darling?
I'm
You look good as always.
Oh, thank you.
Can you relate to vitamin S? Ayo. People will say what they'll say. Okay, let's move on. But ladies, I hope you're all ready for today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's get into it. Today's story is quite interesting. So, dear sisters, I married my wife about 4 years ago, and 3 months into our marriage, I had the opportunity to travel out of the country. Everything was going on pretty well between us at first. We communicated all the time, and I presumed all was well at home. 2 years after, I was unfortunately deported and had no option but to come back home. I called her and broke the news to her immediately after I got to the airport here in Ghana. She told me how she now lives with her uncle and will tell her uncle to give me his boys' quarters so I can stay there for a while. We got home and everyone was so happy to the extent that her uncle advised and encouraged me. We could only make love, however, when the uncle was away, which seemed absurd to me. One Saturday, she was in the main building with her uncle, and we could only make love when her uncle was away, which seemed absurd to me. One Saturday afternoon, I sent the gate on an errand, and the doorbell rang. I quickly went to go and get it, only to see my wife's aunt. Her facial expression showed all was not well, as she kept asking what I was doing there. For a while, I was confused. Then I explained my ordeal to her. She then told me that after I left Ghana, my wife told her family that I said I couldn't continue with the marriage anymore, so she should move on. After some time, she brought a man home who she claimed wanted to marry her. Apparently, She has been married for almost 3 years and I had no idea. Do you know the worst part? I have been sleeping with her in her own husband's home. The worst part is, I sent most of the money I made abroad to her to take care of her and her family. All the money I could have invested, I spent on a woman who had divorced and remarried while I had no idea about it. I was so heartbroken and I don't know what to do. Some parts of me wants revenge, but I'm afraid I can even harm her and her new husband if I focus on revenge. Sisters, what do I do? All the money I spent on her when things were well for me has been in vain. I feel broken.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
I'm lost.
Woman divorces husband unknowingly while he was there. So basically, she could have gone 10 years while having a husband in Ghana and having a husband in abroad sending her money. Now, that seems a tad bit wicked.
But where's the Ghana husband?
The
uncle.
The uncle is her
The uncle
supposed.
is her husband.
The supposed uncle
So
is actually
clearly,
her husband.
The uncle
So they
may
can, like,
know that
know
he
that-
is the ex-husband, or at least, because he's so. If you're being introduced as an, we need a few more better particulars for the story, but at least for now we'll take it as it is. He clearly knows. The uncle assumes her. Wait, how does the uncle? I mean, I'm
No,
a bit
so
confused,
so
though.
here's the thing. I feel that there's an agreement here, because the husband abroad has been sending money.
So could it be that
and-
the house he's living in is the one that he's using?
I
money
won't
to
be
pay?
surprised. I'm sure this uncle is enjoying or is benefiting from the money. But then also men are jealous.
So why would you allow
would you-
another man stay in your boys' quarters when you know this other man clearly has a relationship with the woman that you're married to?
Unless that man is not well to do and unless he's very much aware of what's going on, therefore he enjoys the fact that this guy who used to be abroad was supplying and providing money. So it's free money.
Of course.
So they're both in on it. That is why she would not have sex with him when
the man is around.
the man
Man
is
is
around.
around.
And all of this is now beginning to make sense because this auntie walked in and this auntie literally opened
Spilled
his
the
eyes.
beans, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This one here, it's sad here, but this is what I think. Now you have information. Information is power.
Yeah.
It's tough. The betrayal, the hurt, the pain, you can't even begin to think about how you'll revenge. If I were you, I will find my feet again. The best revenge on this planet is success.
But the money that you could have used to find your
It's
feet,
all gone. What can you do?
That's
You
where
can't do
that's the painful
anything.
point right
And
now.
unfortunately, he's been asked to come back here. He can't go back. He can't afford rent as it stands. He needs to pick up from scratch.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. But now at least he knows to be wicked up here. I'm not condoning wickedness, but he knows to be a little selfish about his happiness and about himself. Re-strategize. Take this moment. Decide you're not going to give her any money because you don't have. You can assume the position of I don't have. You don't give. You don't pay for rent. They pay for rent. They pay for electricity, water. At the end of the year, the boys' quarters, aren't you? Decide not to have sex with her. Continue to say, oh, because your uncle is there. You know, the
So
only
he
reason
shouldn't
I'm
move
saying
out?
because he needs to find his feet. He needs to make money. He needs to decide, okay, what kind of business venture? Now, this is the time. Don't waste your time over spilled milk. This is what I think, because it's already been gone. People are going to be wicked. At least you know. It's better for you to know now than to know later. This is what I think. Start something. Revenge, success is the best revenge. Put yourself together. If it means that you start something, start a business, start looking for work. Now you know that you have to be successful at all costs. And then you walk out. Maybe make sure that you've got all the things that you need. Handle the situation with tact. Be the fool. So far, they think that you're a fool, but they don't know what you know right now. Continue to be the fool. Continue to assume the position of naivety, like I'm naive. I have no idea. Gather some money. Be successful. Once you do that, then you're in a position of power whereby now you can call the shots and you can tell them, talk to the hands.
Yeah.
By which time you've gathered your money and you've left. But if you rush right now, why are you going? Because it doesn't sound like you have parents to go to. It doesn't sound, because if you had another option, you won't be living in that house.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're married and you're going to put your pride and your ego aside as a man and live with your uncle-in-law. You wouldn't do that. So, like, you have nothing. Build yourself. Build yourself. This is what I call being Don Silencio, whereby the people around you who think that they've made a fool out of you don't know how much you know, and you make them continue to think that until and then pray about it, and then until God makes you successful. And yeah, badada. Whether you revenge, whether you are angry, whether you call the police people, whether you do whatever, you can't go back. You can't get what you've lost. You've lost her as a wife. Did you even have her to start with?
Well,
you did
but
like
if 3 months into your marriage, you up and leave. Did you really even know her in the first place?
exactly.
Yeah.
You can't brood over spilled milk, and this, unfortunately, is a bitter pill to swallow, and it's an experience. Next time, it gives you the opportunity to look at life differently, to look at people differently. I'm not saying that assume everybody will be like her, because other than that, you could also actually miss out on real love. There are genuine people out there, but it just makes you a little bit tactful. Before you're going to get married to somebody, what do you need to know? Do the investigation, go to the court, go to find out, okay, have they been married before? Have they been divorced before? Like, make sure that you know what you're getting into, and don't keep yourself away from loving, because love can really happen. There are true, genuine people out there, and you can make it. Don't focus on the negativity, otherwise it will bring you down. These things, they can cause you to be mental.
Honestly.
They can.
Honestly.
But focus, you can make it. Once you started, you will make it.
Now let me come to Rosie. You've been quiet. Like you're still brooding over it.
I'm bordering on a mental, like I can't come across it, because I'm just thinking, so the whole process, it means that he gets married to her, leaves, and then he just busily orchestrates the divorce based on the fact that my husband is not present, he's not doing X, he's not doing Y, and they call the courts, one, he's not showing, two, he's not showing, the court to grant the divorce, because obviously he's been away for so long, nobody can get in touch with him. And if he says he was deported, it means that one should have found Krata. So which means that they can't really locate him properly for him to have a fair say. So he was just divorced in his absence without his knowledge. And then he and this guy scammed the husband. You understand? Now my question is that the money that he was sending down, what was the purpose? To build a house?
To take care of your wife.
To take care of your wife. What was the purpose? You know what I mean? And you see, this life. Anyways,
Because
so
Rosie, what if she called and then she said, "Oh, I need money to fix my hair. I need money to do this."
And the thing is, as a husband who really loves your wife, cares for your wife, it's for you. It's an ego thing, or it's a pride booster to be able to take care of your wife, especially when you love your wife. You want to be there for her, take care of her. It's nice for you to understand the reason why you are working. When you're outside and you're working because you need to take care of a family, it's different. But when you're just surviving, when people are chilling and spending their money buying bottles in the clubs, you are busily saving the little that you can to send back home and all that. So it is truly painful. Now, the fact that the uncle has allowed him to come there and everything, it means that the uncle is in on it. There is a game plan to eventually break his heart at some point. Maybe they just want to he's been
deported,
there.
so let's
just accommodate him small. At some point, the game plan has to continue. For the auntie coming in cry to tell him about what is happening is part of the game plan. Now, I don't think that he's so hopeless and doesn't have a place to go. What I think is that his sense of duty to his wife is so paramount that when he was coming down, the best place he thought he could be is with his wife, whether in a hole or in a mansion. Because of the love and the respect he has for that institution of marriage, I'm sure there's somewhere he can go. And like Olivia said, pick up the pieces. There are certain milk, Charlie, you can't pick it up. You can't, certain things once lost, it's very difficult to pick up the pieces. So I think that at this point, the little bit of pride you have, a little bit of dignity you have, because it's you sending the message. I don't even want to go in on what the lady has done and all of that. They'll meet their meter. You know what I mean? So for him, all I'll say is that, look, you did what you did for your wife genuinely, wholeheartedly. Now that this woman has come and told you exactly what is going on, I think that just plan your exit. And where I would differ with Olivia is that I wouldn't want to be successful before I leave the house. I would want to leave the house with my dignity intact. Besides, you have already divorced me. So I don't even have to spend money divorcing you again. You have done that. So that means the monies I was sending to you, you've used those monies to divorce me, Abi. No wahala. So just pick up your pieces. If you have to go and patch with your friend, do that. If you have to go to family, do that. And you are somebody who knows how to work. So you can always work and pick up the pieces. The thing is, it's going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. And there's going to be a mental element here where at some point you were working to make someone happy. And now the same reason you were working is now the very reason you have to work again, but now with different set of emotions. Anger, disappointment, disbelief, all of that. So all I'll say is that, look, it's a very terrible place to find yourself in, but all is not lost because you still have life. So pick yourself up, leave her. Such a woman doesn't deserve someone like you. At some point, the two of them, her and then the uncle, they would have their own moments. And then at that time, you will be in the background and then you look at it and it'll be like a beautiful movie. Yeah, and that will be your revenge.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I like that. Felicia, your thoughts about the story?
So when you started reading the story and I heard, like, when you got into the story, one thing that struck me was, women. These are the kind of women that, that give, like, they ruin it for all of us. Like, they give that tag that, women are. But yeah, it breaks my heart to hear the story, especially coming from women, because in our society, for some strange reason, women are always the ones suffering from these things. Not that the man deserved it, but it's bad. But I side with my sisters, Rosie and Olivia, on this one. It's time for him to pick up the pieces and leave. And unfortunately, Rosie, I don't think he needs to wait till he succeeds before he moves. He should move on. I think he only came to the wife out of respect, because obviously you are married to your woman, and the Bible says when you get married, you leave your family and you cling to your wife, the wife that's same. So if I'm coming back from abroad, who do I go to? Obviously, I go to my wife. That's why he came to the woman. But with this information, it's time to leave. If I was to be him, I won't even wait for them to come back home. I will pack and leave immediately, and I will leave them in the dark, because there's no need for closure. Because if I wait for them to come back, I will blow off. I will talk. I will react, and that's when they win. Because when somebody mistreats you and you kind of give them that closure, it makes it easy for them. Like if you tell them how you feel, it becomes easy. They've gotten to you. I won't let you get to me. I'll walk away, and you stay with your miseries, wondering, how did this guy leave? What happened? It's time for him to leave, and he shouldn't wait for anything. He should just move on. But one lesson I'm hoping that our viewers will take from this is, there's nothing wrong with having long distance relationship. But how do you manage the relationship? How was their communication like? Because if they were in constant communication, now there's video calls and stuff like that. People can be wicked, but I also feel like if you're in constant communication with someone, you will sense something. You will sense it. You won't have to wait for it to get to this extent to realize it. But then also, this guy got deported. So I'm sure he had his own struggles even before the deportation. That might have caused a break in communication, and this woman got away with it. But it's a sad incident. It's a sad story. It's too heartbreaking for me to talk much, because my sisters have already said all they have to say, and he should just move on. But he shouldn't take this on the next woman, unfortunately.
But to what Felicia is saying about long distance relationships, you haven't seen a girl who has decided that this is her abroche husband. She's not really into you, but she's going to pretend to be into you because of the benefit she can get.
So, Olivia, you feel you won't sense?
No, you won't sense. You won't sense. And especially when the man feels like, he really loves you and you will not do it. Some women are good at pretending. And you will never catch them.
And the thing is...
And men love more blindly compared to women. Women are more intuitive. But a man, if you give him attention, if you make him think that you're there for him, you care for him, the little things that you say, oh babe, have you eaten today? Oh, are you okay? Oh, those little things, like it makes them feel like, oh, you really care about them. But women go past just words. It's like, you said that, but what are my instincts telling me? There's something off. There's something. You're telling me that you love me. You told me you've loved me twice. The first time you told me you love me, I felt it. The second time you told me you love me, it was, I heard you, but it was weird. Women are like that. We are able to just pick things.
I would just say that, look, the fact that the marriage was just for 3 months, for me, I'm thinking that they didn't even do the marriage long enough before he disappeared for so long. Now, the fact that he disappeared 3 months just after the marriage, it presupposes that whatever he was working on to be able to travel was already in progress.
Exactly.
So the whole agenda for traveling was to make sure that he married her quickly before he left. So there was a lot of room for they don't really know each other. And like Olivia said, sometimes when a man is doting over you, saying so much, oh, I love you, going, this is not normal. Why are you all of a sudden? I know the kind of person you are. But men will go like, hey, girl, no, I feel me. This money that I sent to her, Charlie, the way she was saying, and you'd be surprised. Look, a dubious woman, you can never know. Listen, it's possible that if it is a planned thing between her and this quote-unquote uncle, the uncle can even be there coaching her. She can even be doing video call, even have nudity, and the uncle is there, quote-unquote, show her this part, show him this part, so he'll send the money down. There are so many things that can happen. So sometimes, you see, long-distance relationships are hard. So that you think you know the person, but there's a difference living with somebody and virtually living with somebody. When it's virtual, you see what the other party wants you to see. If there's a phone call, the person will let you see what they want you to see. So at the end of the day, I feel like, they just didn't know each other. And then the girl just played on that. The girl had an agenda at the point of getting married, because you see, even if she wanted to play smart and cheat on the man, the fact that she went ahead and divorced him in absentia, for me, this whole thing, that was what spoke to me. That also spoke to me the bigger, because if it was cheating, could have said, well, you left for long, and the woman maybe, we could have said, or maybe, just work at it, talk to the woman. But this one, she has gone ahead and broken the marriage entirely. And
on
not even to respect the fact that he should be in the know.
Just
get up and say, boo, you've been away for so long, I can't continue doing this.
But Rosie, hold on. Usually when you serve somebody divorce papers, doesn't the other person need to sign?
No, listen, there are different circumstances under which divorce is given. So for instance, you've been away for 1 year. In this case, he traveled all right, but he doesn't have papers. So he's probably hiding. Probably working under a false name. So even if you want to look for him legally, most likely you don't find him. And looking at the time that he traveled, not in this present day of biometrics, most likely it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, biometric was not probably developed. So my question is that, look, he's traveled, he's away. You can make a case. Ever since your husband traveled, it's been 1 year, 2 years, I've not heard from him. How can we get in touch with him? The court cannot keep you hostage for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, when you haven't heard from your husband, or claim you haven't heard from your husband. Who are you married to, a ghost? And I think there's a law that after a certain number of, when you are looking for somebody, after a span of, some time, if you don't find the person, you can even assume the person dead.
Like 7 years.
Yeah, so a legal person, you can assume the person dead. So at the end of the day, this same law provides room to actually go ahead with the divorce. So the whole thing is that the fact that she divorced you in absentia, that statement alone is so big. Pick yourself up and leave.
But do you know what baffles me? This so-called auntie who walks in,
she's part of the plan.
I have a strong feeling that she's part of the game plan. So the question is, are they devising a way to now get you out of the house?
Him,
And could it be that the house is even his?
It could be.
You know what? The lady knew that the man was coming. Managed to convince the uncle, quote unquote, that look, he did this. So you know what? Now he needs a place to sleep. But the uncle too knows that no, when I'm away, things must be going on. Because a woman you're in bed with, when the woman is going somewhere, when the woman comes back, you can tell the difference. So they've argued about it, they've had conversations. This person has to go. And they've gotten somebody to come and give him the heartbreaking information so that he smells the coffee get up and leave. So at the end of the day, my take is, that's why I said, like, that woman is probably part of the plot.
I wish you could do a search on the land, though.
Because what business? No, it's not even necessary. What business do you have?
The
money was given to her. The woman is not, if she was able to divorce you in absentia, she won't use your money to build a property and put it in your name.
Well, we don't know what conversations were had before, though. We don't know what conversations were had. So if he has some kind of idea, like if in the beginning when things were so supposedly rosy before he left and the land, well, I don't think so. On
3 months.
And second thoughts, I don't think.
And she was collecting money for her, collecting money for my mom needs sick, and she was using that money to probably do something good. And that house they're living
in, move on.
It will probably be hers or for the guy, but with his money. But there's no way you even think that house is his.
Yeah, must move on.
Well, let's hear your thoughts on it. Send us a message, #sister as well. Send us via the WhatsApp number. We'd love to know your thoughts about it. Is revenge something this man should be considering, or as my sisters are saying, should he just count his losses and walk away? We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be getting into our next stories and, of course, getting through some of your messages. Don't go anywhere. This is Sister.
Citi TV is live. On DSTV, go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV. It's your world.
Tune in to Sister live on 97.3 Citi FM and as well on Citi TV. My name is Aja Kwakasa, but I'm here with my awesome group of sisters, and we're going through some of your stories. Of course, this show is proudly brought to you by Onga Mama's Helping Hand, Kel Kids Toothpaste, Ghana AIDS Commission Red Ribbon Campaign, and as well, Fleury Roberts. Now, getting into our second story for this evening, ladies, are we ready? Yeah. This one is quite interesting. It says, "Hello, sisters. Please, I want to know your thoughts about this particular one. I have a brother who's been dating a girl for a while now. They knew each other's families, and we all know each other's families. The girl has an older sister who was also dating another guy by then, which we all were aware of, and also knew this guy very well. And he also knew about her, his girlfriend's sister and his girlfriend's sister's boyfriend. Are we getting it?
So the families are, they all know,
everyone knows each other.
Okay, all right.
But later on, their relationship ended about 2 years ago. Now the issue is this. My sister's boyfriend's sister's ex-boyfriend.
Your sister's
boyfriend's sister's ex-boyfriend has approached me, proposed to me, and he's been on me for months now. And I know he loves me, which I think I also do too. He's an amazing guy. And just because it didn't work with her, doesn't mean it won't work with me. So I want to ask, is it right for me to consider dating a man who dated my sister's boyfriend's sister a while ago?
Okay.
Is it okay for me to start a relationship with him? Because we love each other very much. Is it appropriate for us to date? And would it sound right?
So it's like your sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law's boyfriend.
No, your brother-in-law's
your brother-in-law's
boyfriend.
My brother-in-law's sister's boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend. So how distant is too distant to date?
But because technically they knew each other, right?
The whole family knows each other.
The family knew it.
The boy who's dating the sister knew about his girlfriend's sister and his girlfriend's sister's boyfriend. And between all of them knowing each other, he now realized that his ex-girlfriends, sisters, boyfriends, little sister is a nice girl.
But the girl's brother is no longer dating.
No, they are still dating. That's where it gets complicated.
No, so you see, the thing is that she is a standalone.
Okay.
She is an unpaired electron.
Yeah.
Now, so now her sister is paired with somebody. So let's say the red team, right?
Okay.
Now the sister's boyfriend's sister, okay,
was paired with
also
another
paired with
guy.
another guy. So that's the blue team, right? Right now, the team blue, no.
One said
The ex-boyfriend has and the ex, they are no more together. So this is blue alpha, blue beta.
Yeah. So beta
Now
one
blue
said,
beta is now coming to standalone white.
okay.
Standalone white.
Yes, and he's saying that, but the problem is that it's not about the connection, but the fact that
all knew
the
each other.
families knew each other and they
Everyone
probably
was
sat at
friendly,
parties,
yeah.
maybe White's birthday party, they all graced it, and the other two couples were moving as couples. So 3 years ago, in the birthday party, this is the couple, this is the couple.
And
but
you are
today,
white.
And you are white, you are standalone.
You are going to become couple with somebody's ex.
Yes,
Exactly.
now this year you be coupled with the same one of the teams now as your plus one.
The thing is, the distance is too distant for you to feel any sort of obligation not to date the person.
Yeah.
But the problem is right now, if you choose to date this ex-boyfriend, when your sister and her brother, when
your sister and her boyfriend
are
their family may not accept.
Say they get married, your sister and her boyfriend are about to get married. The boyfriend's sister will come around.
Yeah.
But you will not be dating a boyfriend's sister's ex-boyfriend.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's complicated.
It is complicated. I think it's too close for comfort.
It's not.
I think so because
But she's not dating the sister's ex-boyfriend.
for me,
There's
the fact
nothing
that
wrong with it.
for me, this is me, and I mean everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
I just think that because family knows each other, like everybody knows each other. There's people have been shagging left, right, and center.
But I wasn't shagging.
No,
I'm not a part of it.
No, but you are about to shag somebody who used to be shagged.
By my sister's
There's
boyfriend.
been some shagging. No, at the end of the day,
she's
no.
she's on the other side of the
Honey
spectrum.
bunny.
She's an in-law.
I don't care whether it's
like
at
I'm
the
dating
other side.
my in-law's sister's ex-boyfriend.
Listen.
He's my in-law.
Okay. You see, this is, I think, right, when it comes to family, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to relationships, it just goes beyond just intimacy, or it just goes beyond, like, because this is your sister or your sister-in-law or your brother-in, like, well, not legally, but it's like everything within the family. Why do you want to get murky? People's emotions are here.
I love that boy.
No, people's emotions are, even look at with friends.
Is it my fault they broke up?
Friend,
Did I break them up? I didn't break them up.
Okay, this is me. This is me. I feel like it's too close for comfort. I feel like everybody in the family knows everybody. Why didn't he make it work? Why didn't they both make it work?
They broke him up.
And do you really want to get yourself into a situation like that? Is it really necessary?
Well,
the relationship between you and other people within the family, are you going to look past that? How are you going to move on? Besides, there are going to be weddings, uncles, aunties, nephews, cousins. Family is not just, we just got married or we are going out and shall I take it or leave it? Family goes beyond that because family always comes together when a child is born, when a wedding is about to take place, when somebody dies. Family will always come together. It's either you get whoever used to be involved, you tell them that this is the situation. So you want, out of respect, you want to let them know that this is what is happening.
and what if they say no? Don't date them.
At least you told them.
But isn't that even more complicated?
I would say, if you tell them that these are your intentions, and then at least they know, then they can probably say, okay, I give you my blessing, I don't give you my blessing. I would say stay away if they say no. But if you really must go, then at least they deserve to know. And then whatever decision you take is on you. you live with the consequences. It could work, it could not work. But always know that in life, when you make a decision, you need to live by it, you need to own it, and you need to appreciate that whatever circumstances falls afterwards, you need to own it.
Okay.
Consequences.
Rosie.
None of them are married to each other.
None of them are married to each other.
Okay, that's number one. Now, if it was the sister's boyfriend, that's close for comfort.
Yeah.
But this sister's boyfriend's sister's ex-boyfriend. Now, the question I would like to ask is, what caused the breakup? If the breakup was because the two of you were getting overly familiar and whatever attraction you had for yourself started way before and probably contributed to them breaking up, then I sense serious trouble.
Yeah.
However, if there's a genuine reason why the two of you broke up, or in this case, maybe it's the lady who even broke up with the gentleman because she's moved on or she's found somebody else.
But
really,
the relationship ended 2 years ago.
Exactly.
They're not specific about how it ended, but clearly because it's been 2 whole years.
Yes.
Let's assume that I had nothing to do with it.
Exactly. So if you had nothing to do with it, the relationship broke up on their own accord, everything. My only problem is like sometimes when somebody means a lot to you and you know somebody that has been in their lives before you encourage anything, especially when you know that this person is in your close circles, before you encourage anything, you know, I've seen people get married to certain women's ex-husbands, and because the wife is okay or the ex-wife is okay with it, and they've gone their way. You know, it's not a big deal. But if the thing is so close for comfort, before you even start nurturing the love, where it becomes almost impossible to do without, let the other person know. And this guy, of late, he's been, Charlie, do you remember your ex-guy? He's been calling me, what's up? How is he like? You know, sometimes when the other party feels like,
they're part of it.
They're part of it. Now they know, he's a nice guy. That guy, no, you're sly, but you be careful. But he's a really nice guy. Just that me and him some way. But he's a nice guy. Well, if you like him, well, that's on to you.
We would hope that they'll say that. No, but also could be that they are still in love with the person.
Yeah, but most of the time, if it's when you involve them from the very beginning, they hardly tell you things like, don't go. And you're not telling them like you're in love with them. You're saying things like, hey, this is your guy.
Approaching.
Can you imagine? I met him at a party and he was like, hey, he hasn't seen me in a long time and those things. Hey, he even
he's been calling me, texting me,
bugging me. You see, sometimes when you make those comments, it's not like go and seek validation from them or anything. Let them know that you're in touch with the person. What happens is that if all of a sudden
they see
there's
you
a
somewhere,
family function and the two of you are now inseparable, joined at the hip, you're going to get married, then you go like, oh wow. So hold on. So the whole time, then all kinds of questions get being asked. Not that it really matters, but it's just for peace because all of you allowed your families to be so intertwined and their aunties, uncles, cousins who would interpret it in so many ways. In some cases, even if the party players are okay with it, the standards, the bystanders, the spectators, they're not okay, they'll be instigating things. So sometimes it's nice to know that at least all of you youngies are on the same page and all of you are truthful with yourselves and know that X, Y, Z. But if the other party doesn't want to even agree or doesn't want to, it is your life. I don't see any blood relationship. I don't see any, but at the end of the day, if you want to go ahead with it, just know the consequences. In life, you can do almost anything, but be aware of your consequences. Be aware that there are certain lines, once you cross them, it's very difficult to get certain things. So what it means is that most likely when your sister's boyfriend's sister is having a function, your sister will go, your sister's boyfriend, maybe now her husband will go, but you may not really be welcome.
It's always
at that event. So there's always something that has to give. Once you weigh the consequences and you feel that this man is worth it, you can always take that step. But don't just go blindly, I'm in love. Charlie, love, no?
Times and seasons, baby.
Charlie, it has times and seasons. Sometimes it can rock you in ways that you never imagined, you never thought it would ever happen. So I think that technically, there's nothing wrong with it. Even morally, there's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes just your conscience and knowing, especially if you know how the lady felt about the man whilst they were dating.
For me,
so sometimes it depends on some of these little soft areas that would help you decide whether it's something you need to do or not. Because, really, you can't say that because you've dated me, we are broken up 2 years later. So nobody I know can ever date you. I mean, it's almost impossible.
Okay, I come back to when is it okay to date an ex, and how close for comfort or how further away can it be? But Felicia, your thoughts about this particular story?
So, like as Rosie said, I don't see any technical fault with this or any moral fault with this. I won't even think twice to move on with the relationship. However, depending on my relationship with my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The relationship.
Sister.
Yeah, depending on my relationship, I might let her in. I will just, Charlie says, this your guy has been approaching me, not to seek validation, not to seek permission, but out of respect. Like my sisters have been saying, there will obviously be family meetings, family events that you all have to show up, and you don't want to pull any surprise and look like the devil there. So it's just nice to say. But with these things too, I always go in with caution. The question is, are we willing to make it work, or we are just doing it because we love each other?
Right.
Because I hate to go into like close relationship like this,
and then doesn't work.
Like, I just can't do it. Anytime I need to venture into close, I need to be 100% sure
It's worth
it's worth it.
Yeah.
True.
And that person needs to be sure. I ask you, Oga, are you sure that we really want to do this and we are willing to make? If we are not sure, please, let's just stay away and just be friends. Because what I hate in my life is going into this kind of close relationship and it won't work, and it's like
then you have to come back and face the family people.
Yes, the family people. I can't see myself doing that.
Then they'll be consoling. They'll be consoling you.
Better than me or what? Like, yeah. So
when the guy was doing it to me, you didn't know you do it to you.
Like, I can't stand that. So yeah, before I go on to this, I need to be, if not 100%, like 95% sure that this is it, before I go out, even to tell the lady that I'm going to do this. But yes, technically, I don't see anything wrong with it. Morally, come on, there's nothing wrong with it here. But so be sure that you're stepping into the right shoe, because these things can be very tricky.
But to go to
go ahead.
To go back on what both you and Rosie said about, it depends on your relationship with this other person. Because can you imagine that this person was the one you would go to confide in and say, oh, this is what this boy did to me, and you will cry, and then you'll be like this, and you know all of that, and still after 2 years.
Oh, that one, they don't even have to go close. If we're very close to
that's
the
what I'm
lady,
saying.
so it's more like a friend's boyfriend. That was the relationship.
That's what I'm saying, that it depends on the
tricky.
relationship. Because listen, there are certain lines I think
You
that
just don't cross.
You don't cross.
You just don't cross.
Now, there's a difference between acquaintance, family, and people who are like very close friends. In some cases, there are friends who are even closer than family. So if the relationship is so tight, the thing is that why do you even nurture the love?
Why?
Do you understand? Why do you even nurture it? As soon as it starts coming,
You
start talking about
it.
it.
Yeah.
In some cases, you can have your party go like, you know what? He's actually a really nice guy. I lost God. I lost God. So you know what? If I messed up and that's how we broke up. So you know what? He's a really nice guy and you're my sister. I wouldn't want anything better than a gentleman like that for you. So you can have a situation like that where somebody knows that she really bent bridges. But this is a nice guy I would wish for my sister and maybe, or friend, that's in friend turned sister. So maybe she can actually give the blessing, the blessing for you guys to go through with it. But there's also something I know that, Charlie, this guy give your friend countless sleepless nights.
Charlie, somewhere.
Cry down.
Somewhere.
Then now you come to carry this one. And then to not become a reminder of everything that's happened. So how close, no? We can't. It's relative, because the fact that the connection is far, no, doesn't mean that heart-wise they are not close. Because you can have even two sisters who are so far apart, they don't even gel. That one crossing those lines doesn't mean anything. So it depends on how close they are. But like she said, look, for me, if you have to do something like that, know that you are sealing it nice and solid. It's not going to be a 3 months agenda, 6 months agenda, 1 year agenda. Especially like that, you knew me already. whilst you were dating the other girl. So it's not like Mr. Deal. I want to see that kind of, you knew me in my raw state. So as soon as you come now, we are zeroing in, we are going serious, we are going head on. So it should be something that you're really sure of, because some bridges, when you burn it,
it should be worth it. Yeah.
They said if you're ready to burn bridges, you must be ready to swim.
Yeah.
You understand?
But come to think of it, there's some guys who are just there to be, who are just there, who want to be associated or affiliated to some family.
Yeah.
So however they will
find their way.
So you need to also be cautious about that, because you don't know with what intentions people decide to get into relationships. So Charlie, be careful. Whatever decision you make, you won't pack. The way you lay it, that's the way you lie on it.
True.
So Charlie,
reach it. And on that note, we'll bring the show to an end. Ladies, it's always an absolute pleasure having you on the couches. And then giving your insights, very, very, very in-depth insights on all these things that people send in. Some of the stories are interesting, others, some are hard.
Some are really hard. Some are really hard.
But it's always amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I was joined by my awesome sisters, of course. On the extreme left, I have the beautiful Felicia, the Scorpio Queen, Rosie, and the lovely, lovely Olivia. And of course, when I come back, I'll be sharing my final views. Now, to wrap it up with my final thoughts to our very first story, where our gentleman has been faced with the heartbreaking news where his wife of 4 years that he thought he was building a life with here in Ghana, all this while the last 3 years has been secretly married to a different man. It is devastating, I know, and of course, I truly apologize, and I'm very sorry for what you might be going through. However, even though revenge might sound very enticing and might seem like a great step to take right now, I think honestly, with the amount of anger and frustration you have, you might end up doing more harm than good. You already rightly stated that you might actually end up harming her, which will not only destroy her and her new husband, but also destroy you. Because as you harm them, you also leave yourself up for so many issues being dealt with the law and everything else inclusive. So save yourself by choosing not to do anything. Because when you try and it goes south, you are the one going to pay the consequences. And imagine suffering twice. First, because they destroyed your life by leaving you or stringing you along for 4 years. And now you probably have to lose your freedom because you harmed her. This is something that you should not be doing. Sometimes the best revenge is to walk away and know that their karma will find them in some way or shape or form. Definitely, I agree that until you maybe find a best place to move to, perhaps you can just bide your time in the home that you, or in the boys' quarters that you've been assigned to, and find the best possible way to move out. Find a way of settling yourself or finding your feet. You could also consider trying to confront her and tell her that you are collecting maybe all the money you sent her. This is something you could consider as well. But not sure if you find a lot of success with that, because if you sent her money consistently over the last 4 years, what is to show that, or what evidence do you truly have that you have sent her all this money? So sometimes counting your losses and moving on might just be the best thing to do. I hope that you find peace. I hope that you find some happiness, because you truly deserve it after such a devastating news and heartbreaking treatment from someone that you thought you were building your happily ever after with. I think soon you will be able to find your feet and you'll be able to bounce back even bigger and better than everyone expected. Good luck with this. So to our second story, a lady who's confused about dating her sister's boyfriend's sister's ex-boyfriend. Already it's a mouthful to even try and figure out. But definitely, I think if you truly, truly are in love with him like you described, maybe you should consider it. But also noting that you probably have to let everyone in the chain know, since you have stated that the family members or your family, her family, his family, everyone's family seems to know each other. So perhaps you should be a bit more forthcoming with the the news and let them know. And maybe if there's any particular reason why they think you should not be together with him, they voice it out. If not, then you actually can start considering building your happily ever after with this gentleman. But it depends on how close you and this or this your sister's boyfriend's sister are. If you're someone who you consider, or she's someone you consider a friend, it might be a bit hurtful to her because you are going for your friend's ex-boyfriend. However, if she's not a friend and she's just your sister's boyfriend's sister, and just because you know each other in social settings shouldn't stop you from finding the man or going after the man that your heart truly desires. So if you do not have such a great, or you don't have a very tight relationship with her, then perhaps you can just consider throwing caution to the wind and going after the one that your heart desires. If not, perhaps you should be a bit more tactful about how you go about it. Like my sister said, perhaps you should consider letting her know that this is something that may be cooking in somewhere on the horizon, and seeing how she reacts to this issue could also give you some insights on maybe how easy it is she has moved on after this gentleman, if truly she has moved on, or if perhaps this man is trying to find a way of getting back at her by dating you. That's something you should also consider. Now, I hope you are able to find the answers that you deserve and able to figure out if it's truly worth probably upending quite a few things for this gentleman. If you think he's worth giving some drama to the family, then why not? Go for it. If not, then perhaps you should think twice before you make that announcement. And I hope you find the clarity you wanted with this very special episode of Sister. My name is AJ Akwakosapon. I've been your host. Find me on social media at AJ Sapon on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and let me know your thoughts. But of course, if you have an issue that you want some clarity on, send us an email at sistersisterisllive@gmail.com. That is sistersisterisllive@gmail.com. And you just might be the story we might be considering or discussing even on the show next week. This show is proudly brought to you by Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, Kel Kids Toothpaste, Flurry Roberts, and Ghana AIDS Commission Red Ribbon Campaign. Of course, a very big thank you to R. Lurie Official for my lovely outfit. Find her on rlurie_official on Instagram, and as well, First Choice for my hair, made with Sinak Hair Collections. Thank you so much, First Choice. Above all, thank you for being tuned in. It's always a pleasure. And a very big thank you to LifeMate Furniture, who allow us so graciously bring you an episode live from their premises. Locate them at North Industrial Area. And of course, come through for your most beautiful furniture here at LifeMate Furniture. Until I come your way again, keep watching, keep listening to Citi FM, keep watching Citi TV.